Welcome back to Papa Pops. Again, for those of you tuning in, again, thank you so much. And for those of you sharing this, is that way I can get more viewers, thank you. Today's show, we're kind of going to do something a little bit different than we've been doing for a while. And we're going to go back to list of things that we think Funko should make, or lines. This one's going to be about TV shows that we think that they should make stuff out because they've never visited them as a brand, or go back to them to kind of finish off some of the characters that we feel are essential to our collections. And maybe some of this won't matter at all to some of you, but again, I know there's some people out there that it is. So, without any further to do, I'm going to start off with MASH, the TV show. Here's a series that, if you look back at it, its runtime and seasons was actually longer than the Korean War that it's about. It was one of the most watched TV shows of all time. There was a lot of great characters in that I think would make great pops. So I'll read off a few of them that I think, quite honestly, are almost necessities as pops for those of us who love MASH. You got Hawkeye Pierce. Gosh, it would be so great to see an Alan Alda Hawkeye. McIntyre. Again, with Hawkeye, you need to have a McIntyre or a BJ, because those two, you can't have one without the other when it comes to those characters. Hot Lips Houlihan, I think, is another one that they need to make. Again, great actress. But I also think they should make Klinger. And when it comes to Klinger, there are all kinds of Klingers they could make. And I thought, you know what? If they were to make a Klinger, they should make a regular one of Klinger, where he's in a dress, and then make a Klinger who's in all the fatigues like he's supposed to be, as a chase. So, that would be awesome, in my opinion. Father Mulcahy, I think, is another one that we really need to see, as well as Colonel Potter. What a great actor he was, and he definitely deserves to have a pop made of him. As well as Radar, which is the only actor that ever returned from the movie for the series when it came to the same character. So I think that's another necessity. We need that character. But then I also think that we need, again, B.J. Honeycutt, which I mentioned because, when McIntyre left, B.J. Honeycutt took over for that loss of McIntyre as the kind of kickoff from Hawkeye. And again, I'm only going through this for some of you who don't know the show. But I also believe that they should make a Frank Burns, because again, there was a character that just kind of made the show fun. And was a great guy himself as far as the actor. Henry Blake is another one I think we need, because he was their first colonel that watched over their 4077. I also think that a major one that they really need to make is Winchester. Again, this is a character that took over after Frank Burns left. Or, yeah, when when Frank Burns' character left, Winchester took over and kind of filled that spot, and he did a great job. And last but not least, I've got to go with Major Sidney Freeman. I think that was a returning character that needs a Funko if they were to make this line, because again, he was tied into a lot of great episodes. But moving on now from MASH, I would say another line that some of us older people would like to see, and again, I'm sure there's probably some that just think that, nah, they don't need it, but All in the Family. I think that it would be great if they made an All in the Family with Archie Bunker, Edith Bunker, Gloria Bunker, and Meathead. And whether or not they made them as individuals or like a 4-pack or whatever, I just think it would be awesome. Oh, or even like a TV moment where they're all in there, or something like that. But I mean, I think it would be a great one. One that I just can't understand why it doesn't exist at all is 24. I can't understand how they've never made a Jack Bauer. I mean, one of the most fantastic TV characters that we've ever had, and we don't have this character. I don't understand, but I'm a big fan of that character, so I would love to see it. Justified would be another one I'd like to see, and if nonetheless they don't want to make a whole line of it, they could at least make Rayland Givens and Boyd Coward. Uh, those two characters are kind of essential for the show, but I would love to see at least those two, if no more. I'd also like to see King of the Hill, a full line of all the characters. There's one again, I can't understand why we've never seen it, but we need King of the Hill, and we need them bad. So, hope somebody out there is listening to these lists, because I'm not the only one. I listen to other people telling me these ideas too. Dukes of Hazzard. Again, you got a bunch of them. You got the Duke boys. Uh, you got Daisy Duke. You've got the, Boss Hog. You got Uncle. Uh, there are so many that just need to be made for that show. Again, another highly watched show of its time. I think they deserve it. And I say this for a lot of this because some of these, quite honestly, are people who appear at a lot of the cons, and some people buy Funkos only so that way they can get them signed. And like Dukes of Hazzard people, they're always at cons, so it'd be great if those were out and available so that way people can get those signed. Uh, like I said, MASH. There's only a few of those people still alive, so it'd be kind of nice to have at least some of those out, so that way, for those that still appear at conventions and stuff, you can get those signed. Or again, Jack Bauer. Keeper Sutherland's had a lot of cons. It'd be nice to have that just for that. In Living Color, I can't go down the full list of all the characters, but some of the main ones I definitely believe need to be made. It's like Homie D. Clown. I think that's one that really needs to be made, as well as Fire Marshal Bill. I also think that the steroids bodybuilding woman that was played by Jim Carrey, Vera, I think it was the name of the character. I think that needs to be made. And I also think Wanda needs to be made, because that was another fantastic character. But there are so many from that show that they could make that would just fill my heart full of joy, because, again, got a lot of these people appear at places, and it would be nice to have them signed. Again, Mad TV. And again, I can't even go into all the skits and characters and stuff, but there's a lot of characters from that I think that would be kind of cool to see as Funkos. Another one I'm kind of amazed that I've never seen out as a line is the Oblongs. I'm just going to leave it at that. They could make a line of the Oblongs, and that would be freaking awesome. Flight of the Conchords. I think that would be a great one. Especially, I mean, if they didn't make all kinds of different ones, they could make Brett, Jermaine, Murray, and Mel. At least those four. Then, again, here's one that they've made a line of, but they quit on us. And I think they really need to go back to this line, because there are some major characters that never got made that I think are a necessity for those of us who are Sons of Anarchy fans. And that's Tig, Juice, Otto, who's also played by the guy who created the whole thing, Kurt Sutter, Bobby, and again, I've met a lot of these people, and they're fantastic. And again, it would be nice to have them just so that we can get them signed too. But like I said, Bobby, Chibs, Unser, the undersheriff, I think that would be awesome. And I also think that Happy would be another good one that they could make. But yeah, it's a line that I think that's overdue for a revisit for at least characters that we never got. If they don't ever make another Jax Teller or Clay, or I'm okay with it. At least we got them. It'd be nice to see new ones, cool. But again, if we don't see those again, it'd be nice for them to finish off the line, I think. Big Bang Theory is another one I'd like to see them revisit, because there are a lot of different episodes with them in different outfits or costumes that I think that would be just awesome to see. But my main one is when they had Leonard, Sheldon, Howard, and Raj dressed up in Star Trek: The Next Generation outfits, and they were going to the con, and they decided to stop off along the way to take photos of themselves in costume. And when they did, their car was stolen, so they were stranded. So they had to walk to the nearest stop. So by the time they got there, their makeup was all droopy, their wigs were sideways and stuff, and they had stains and dirt all over them from walking out in the desert. So if they were to make like a clean version of them, and then make a dirty version of those, and then they can make this con exclusive, because again, I think that make it exclusive so that way it has that exclusivity. Because there are, again, those people who say, well, we've already had enough Big Bang. Yeah, but if you make it a con exclusive and make that an exclusivity there, and I'm just talking about the ones that don't have a shared sticker later, I think it would be a big sale. Um, then we'll go back to The Office. And I know a lot of people will think that there's too much Office, but these characters were never made that I'm getting ready to mention. And I hope you agree, but I think that they should make an Aaron. I think they should make a Gabe. I think they should make a David Wallace. I think they should make a Nellie, a Roy who used to date Pam and was engaged to her, uh, Karen Filippelli, Bob Vance, Molly Flax, who eventually marries Michael Scott. Uh, but I also think that Todd Packard would be a nice one. Joe Bennett, who bought the company and then named it Sabre. Charles Miner. Uh, I also think D'Angelo would be a good one. I know he's only in a couple episodes, but Will Ferrell, man, you got to have that. And then Robert California, another character I enjoyed in the show. That I thought that, you know, make these other ones so that we can finish off the cast for our collections instead of making 5 more Michael Scotts or 4 more Dwight. Because as much as I love those characters, I'd like to see characters that have never been made. And I think that Funko needs to start listening to some of this because, you know, people are getting tired of the rehash of a character they've already got. What people really liked about Funkos to begin with was the innovation, the freshness, the newity of Funkos that they never had before. Uh, so I think that they need to kind of revisit that. I also think they need to revisit uh, shorter print runs, and I also think that uh, again, a lot of people are about getting those limited editions. So if they listened to all that, it would help them out a lot as a company, because that's how they became big to begin with, was exclusivity and limited runs. But enough of that. Saturday Night Live, I think, is another one that they need to go ahead and make some more of. Like, we're here to pump you up. I think that would be a great one. Uh, Again, the church lady. I think they could do a little set with the church lady behind her desk and the stained glass window behind her that Dana Carvey played. But there's a lot of Saturday Night Live I think they should make. And you can, share your comments down below as to who you think they should make of any of this stuff that maybe I've left off of these lists. But another one, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know they got their line, but they never made the movie ones. So they can make the movie ones and still revisit the show and make maybe characters they never made before. Uh, stuff that, fans have been clamoring for. But we'll go ahead and go on to Dexter. Dexter was one of Max's greatest shows that they ever had, as far as I'm concerned. So Dexter Morgan, they could make a couple of them, and they can make one of him as the officer. They can make one of him in his plastic suit and everything as the killer. I'm sorry if I'm ruining that for anybody, but you find that out right at the beginning. I think they could make him in his black outfit. So there's a lot of them I think they can make, and there's a lot of other characters I think they can make too, like the Trinity Killer and stuff like that. And again, I'm not going to go into a long stuff because I can't make these videos too long. But there's a lot of Dexter Morgan stuff that they could make. Monk. I think Adrian Monk would be a great one for them to make and maybe even some of the others, but at least give the fans Adrian Monk. Another fantastic character, fantastic show. I think it deserves that. Um, and then I'm going to kind of finish this off with the Looney Tunes. And again, I bring this up because I like Bugs Bunny and I love Tasmanian Devil and, you know, Sylvester and all that. But I'm getting tired of revisiting those same characters just done differently. How about we make some characters they've never, ever made that some of us who are true Looney Tune fans would love to see? And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, here's my list. I'm going to start off with Granny. I mean, we've got Sylvester and Tweety, but we got no Granny. Let's bring Granny out, for God's sakes. Hector the Bulldog, I think, is another one that would be really awesome to see. Another one would be Charlie the Dog. I also think Barnyard Dog. And if any of you who don't know what I'm talking about and watch the show, that was the dog that was always warring back and forth with Foghorn Leghorn, and Foghorn would get him and spank him and stuff and just torment him. So I would love to see that character. And then we start talking about Foghorn Leghorn. I think Henry Hawk needs to be made. Witch Hazel. Cecil Turtle. Beaky Buzzard, I think, is another one that would be really awesome. Here's one I think it's just ridiculous we've never seen. But that's Slowpoke Rodriguez. That's Speedy Gonzales' cousin. That was a character that, as a kid, I just loved. I would sit there and laugh at that character. And then I got one for like a 2-pack I thought would be great, which was Rocky and Muggsy, the two gangsters in one of the episodes warring with Bugs Bunny. And then I thought of the 3-pack because there was an episode where Bugs Bunny wandered into a house and, you know, sat in everybody's chair, ate from everybody's bowl, slept in each person's bed until he was comfortable, and then they came home, and that's the 3 Bears. I think that would be another good one. But there are so many Funkos that, quite honestly, they've never visited. That would put a fresh, new bit of life into Funko, I think, because people like something they don't have instead of the 5th or 6th character that they already have. And not that that's a bad thing, but they need to limit that a little bit more and start bringing out other characters that haven't been done. But with that said, I'll be right back. Just hold on a second, alright? Alright, so we're at the end of our episode here, and this is the time when I go ahead and, again, thank you guys that are watching these videos, returning for new ones, that maybe rewatch, sharing it, again, and helping get more viewers, because it means a lot to me. I'd like us to grow. We're not, I mean, we're growing, but I'd love to see us get up there, man. So when we hit 100 people subscribed, I've got these 8 Funkos here, and what we're going to do is when we get that 100, that episode afterwards, we're going to tell you how you can qualify for one of these 8, so that way there's 8 different winners, and our thank you to you guys for just being here for us. But again, with all that said, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Keep on watching, keep on sharing, keep on commenting, and most of all, help me get more viewers and subscribers. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I just want to jump up and down whenever I see new subscribers. But thank you again, and as always, Shakya.